Holy cow. Who were you? The only guy that was worth a shit out there was Mike Evans. The rest of those guys were almost fill-in dudes. Godwin's hurt. AB's not there. Gronkowski was a factor in the game. But you had Gronk and an injured Mike Evans and a bunch of nobody guys. What were you afraid of? That soft zone killed them all day long. I guess we can say that. Wow. Where to begin? Where to begin? That was a football team over their skis. Eagles outcoached, outplayed, outschemed, everything. 31-15. It was a warm-up game for the Buccaneers as they move on to the next round of the playoffs. I mean, even the stats, you question where and what the coaching staff and the players were thinking. 23 first downs to 14 of the Eagles. Here's what I don't get. So Jalen Hurts threw more passes than Tom Brady? Are you fucking kidding? That's not your identity. What are you doing? Well, we're behind. That's still not your identity. Here, get this. The Bucs ran the ball 31 times. The Eagles 17. Oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering if the Eagles were having success running the ball, 5-6 a clip versus the Bucs 3-4. 3 turnovers in the game. Where to begin? How do you get in a game with Tom Brady when you know you're the dominant running attack? They loaded the box on you. So what? So what? So did every other team. 43 passing attempts for the Eagles get you killed. And they were killed. 17 rushing attempts. Let's start out with the coaching. Troy Aikman was right. 90% of that football game, Jalen Hurts had no idea where to throw the ball. He was clueless. You know, it's funny. I was talking to my wife. We were watching the game. And I said, what's the one glaring thing you see with Tom Brady and his pre-snap preparation? Brady knows exactly where the single coverage is all the time. He knows where the single coverage is. Aikman was pointing it out from the booth about 200 feet in the air. And Jalen couldn't see that. Son, if you want to play quarterback in the NFL, you got to spot the single coverage wide out. That's basic football. Brady doesn't throw into double teams and triple teams. He knows where the single coverage is. The Buccaneers were daring Jalen Hurts to beat him, and he didn't see it. Why are you throwing into double coverage? Why are you throwing into triple coverage? Holy cow, man. The coaching was so sporadic, too. I got to tell you, I mean, defensively, what in the world were you doing giving these wide receivers? You got that kid Perriman off the street. Why were the Eagles afraid of that guy? You gave them a 10-yard start, and you didn't press them? Holy cow. Who were you? The only guy that was worth a shit out there was Mike Evans. The rest of those guys were almost fill-in dudes. Godwin's hurt. AB's not there. Gronkowski was a factor in the game, but you had Gronk and an injured Mike Evans and a bunch of nobody guys. What were you afraid of? That soft zone killed them all day long. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. It was clearly a game where you went like this. The Eagles are playing like they don't belong here. Everywhere. It just outcoached, outplayed, outschemed, effort, everything. It was like they were a chicken with their head cut off. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. I'm going to get to the topics here in a minute, and I'm going to get to you guys in case you're new to the program, okay? You guys, I read your comments. We go back and forth, and this is going to be, I got to think. A come to Jesus conversation today about Jalen Hurts, the coaching staff, the direction of the franchise, everything. Gary Cobb will join us at the bottom of the hour. Pre- and post-game show for Fox 29 in Philly. Let me ask you this. How many people think the Eagles are trending up right now? With the close of the season, are the Eagles with a green arrow or a red arrow? What do you think? I do think it's a green arrow. But what's the ceiling here? You see, the one thing that you want to make sure you have with your quarterback and your coach is that you want to break the glass of the ceiling and win a Super Bowl. I don't want to get to a point where I'm looking at it and questioning whether or not he's the guy. They're doing that in Dallas right now, by the way, with Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy. So other places are looking at that same conversation that we're having right here. Alexander says, flatline, Dan. The Don of Uptown, trending up. I think you are. Here's the topic. How much damage did Jalen Hurts do with his playoff performance and his chances of becoming the starting quarterback in 2022 and beyond? How much damage did he do? I thought he did a lot. Now, look, some of you would say, Dan, 60 minutes of football? Dude, 60 minutes of football? Yeah, you're going to play against great teams in the postseason. Well, there's his first experience. I take that into consideration. But spotting the single coverage guy, I know high school coaches and high school quarterbacks that can spot that. Single coverage. Single coverage. Single fucking coverage. I kept screaming it. It's open. There was nobody in front of many of those guys. The Bucs knew, and Todd Bowles knew, Jalen Hurts couldn't beat him. They knew that. They knew it. How much damage did he do? The Don says heavy. Rashad says folks are being hard on Jalen. Bro, you're the starting quarterback. You have one of 32 jobs in the world. Smile. Adios, Jalen's. What about Mac Jones? Okay. We'll get to Mac Jones. Noodles. None, because there is no quarterback that is going to come here that is elite. Interesting you would say that. Bring in Russell Wilson. Cookie says this was on Sirianni. Tell you what, the game plan was pathetic. All around, defensively, offensively. It was pathetic. But players have to play. Players are accountable. I never hang losses on referees or coaches. Go ahead and fucking make a play. Okay? Win in spite of that jackass on the sidelines. Win in spite of that guy. Go out there and give. Look at the 49ers. That was a train wreck of a series of plays in that Dallas game when Garoppolo was going for the first down to end the game, and he didn't allow Trent Williams to set. That's on the quarterback. They had the right play, everything set up. Garoppolo has a brain fart. They give the Cowboys a shot at the ball. Okay? That's on him. Right play, executed poorly. Akbar, I'll tell you what, even though all that being said, Jimmy Garoppolo's now 35-14 as a starting quarterback in the NFL. How you doing? Jimmy G, terrible pick. It was a terrible pick. He's 35-14 as a starting quarterback, though, and has an NFC championship ring. And he just went into Dallas and won. I don't know. I get it, but hey, horrible pick, still won the ball game. Alexander, the entire thing was just it just looked like they didn't belong there. Okay? It just looked like they didn't belong there. How about this one? I just don't believe that Nick Sirianni trusted Jalen Hurts enough in that ball game to open up the playbook. How can you not spot single coverage? How? How can you not spot it? Troy Aikman was destroying Nick Sirianni and Jalen in a very nice way the entire broadcast. You've got to see that. Do you know what that would have did for the run game? You know what that would have did for the slot? You know what that would have did for the tight end position? Instead, he's trying to force the football into the tight end and triple and double coverage. It played right into Todd Bowles' hands. Pinehawk says we can't teach accuracy. He was terrible in that. There were wide open passes. By the way, I said this to you guys, and I know that my boy Xander remembers this. Why the fuck did you draft Devontae Smith if you can't get him the ball? It's a poor draft pick. You got to listen to me here. I didn't say he's a poor player. It's a poor pick when you don't have the guy who's the sharpshooter. Hey, it's one thing to buy the gun, but if you don't know how to use it, what's the sense of it? What's the sense of buying a gun when you don't know how to use it? What's the sense of drafting the Heisman Trophy wideout who was the player of the year in the Southeastern Conference when you don't know how to use him? Or better yet, you can't get him the football. Alexander says, freaking Rager. I'll tell you what, that Jalen Rager kid, if he's on the Philadelphia Eagles in 2022, there should be a picket line circling the Eagle facility getting rid of Howie Roseman. He is awful. It's unbecoming of an NFL football player. He is terrible. Not bad, terrible. Okay? Just terrible. Man. Guys, and by the way, this ain't gloom and doom. This is basically what we saw yesterday. John says, Dan, the Eagles need a pass rush badly. Sign Michael Sam. Who? Oh, yeah, that's right. Michael Sam, him and Kaepernick hang out at the Nowhere Ranch. Man, oh, man. W2. I felt like turning that game off. I mean, after the first 15 minutes of that ball game, I was like, this is going to be the worst game of the weekend. That one in Kansas City. Well, the Bills-Patriots was right there too. Hurts is below the bar of quarterbacks that deserve investment. Sorry, Minshew should have been given an opportunity. Old Cole, Rager is the worst. 100 times worse than Aguilar. Hugh Silz, I'd like to rant, kick some ass with these fans and tell them how really it is. Hey, dude, look, like I said, I think your franchise is trending up. But my God almighty, you've got to have more poise in your game plan. You know, and I know people want to get on Bill Belichick and say that Bill Belichick had an awful game too. Yeah, okay, well, that guy's resume set. 60 minutes of football is not going to dictate how we look at Bill Belichick. Well, he got killed by the Bills. Really, you're going to take 45 to 50 years of football of his resume, and you're going to castrate it over 30 minutes or 60 minutes of football? Give me a fucking break. Alexander, we're going to get to that quarterback question. I want to ask you, how much damage did Jalen do with his playoff performance? Here's something I want to ask you, though. Is Jalen built where he takes a performance like this the same way Lamar Jackson did? Guys, we have to look at this in fairness here. Is Jalen the type of player that will take a performance like this, use it as a positive to get better? What's Jalen Hurts' ceiling? Maybe that's the question we need to be asking one another here. What's his ceiling? Do you see this guy in a parade going down Broad Street? Yes or no? Cookie says yes, he's built for it. Alexander says Hurts doesn't seem to fit the scheme. Alexander, I don't know what the scheme is. And by the way, how glaring was it that the Eagle wide receivers can't block in the run game versus the Buccaneers? They are awful. Did you guys watch the 49ers and Samuel and those guys knocking guys out in the secondary of the Cowboys? Holy cow, man. I was like, that's football right there. That's football. The wide receivers on the Eagles, okay? They're not soft, but they ain't big dudes. 26 says Jalen Hurts' ceiling is top 25. Well, you could win a Super Bowl with that. Ernest says the sad thing is we can only judge Hurts from playing good teams. Well, they didn't really play any good teams this year. MJ says Hurts will never be the accurate quarterback we need. James says, Dan, people like Hurts because of how he conducts himself. And you're right. That's a big factor, James. I don't give a shit about that. Okay? As a team leader, I do. As a quarterback, nobody cares that Aaron Rodgers acts the way he does. Aaron Rodgers, if you're that good, nobody cares. He overlooked that shit. Hurts can't make basic reads or throws. Chris, it was so evident, man. Dudley says, Jalen has been losing his big game since college. Huh. He did come in to save the SEC championship game. He did get Oklahoma into the semifinals. Again, let's tell all the story here. Okay? Benjamin says, offense coordinator, the game plan has sucked almost every game. That is why the offense starts slow. Dude, I read you this. How in the world is a Philadelphia Eagle team throwing more attempts than Tom Brady? And the Buccaneers had both their backs out and still ran the ball 31 times to 17. How's that possible? I don't even know who ran the ball for the Bucs. Was that Bernard? Is that the kid from Cincinnati that they signed? That kid Bernard, right? He played at Carolina, I think. Put him in the backfield like he didn't miss a beat. I thought he was Leonard Fournette. Holy cow, man. I kept shaking my head. 60 minutes of football, I shook my head like this. What in the freaking world are they doing? Why are they playing those lame-ass zone coverages against nobody wideouts? Mike Evans was the only freaking threat. My God. They signed Perriman off the street. Joe says won't win with Hurts, period. We need playmakers. Vector says, why would you win the coin toss and defer to Brady? Boom, 7-0. Silz, do you understand why Philly fans are so angry? I do. I get it. Carl, it was like they got into the playoff game. You know, you play against an inexperienced. That was inexperience all over the joint. Coaching, player, quarterback not seeing single coverage. Single coverage, and Troy Aikman was seeing it from 200 feet in a booth calling a game. Why are they not going out here? It's wide open. And get this, they didn't even have deep coverage to protect the guy. They knew he couldn't get the ball there. They were basically they were goading the Eagles to throw the ball because you know why? They didn't think that Jalen. Can I tell you why I think? Ken says, I picked the Eagles to lose based on facts, not emotion. Daniel, you jumped on me. I didn't say anything, but now I am. That's what I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? Yeah, you can't in any way put your football team in a position that they did coaching. The coaches were just as poor as the players' execution. Ken, you're right. One time, Jalen threw the football down the field. I thought it was a punt. Man. Guys, the organization is trending up. Okay? The organization is trending up. You won 4 games last year. Let's not forget that. 4 ball games. You had an improvement of 5 games. It's pretty impressive. Dude. Yeah, but Chris, I'll say this to you, man. What are you playing those zone coverages like that? Who were you afraid of? Easy Money said Tampa's defense made Hurts look like a 5th grader. They were manning up. They were absolutely manning up. They were jamming him at the line of scrimmage, no question about it. Dude, how many targets did Devontae get in the first half? Aikman started pointing that out as well. Oh, bad coaching, Carl? To say the least. Bad execution, bad coaching, bad preparation, bad mentality. The whole thing was awful. Awful, man. Now people are questioning. And by the way, I'll say this one more time to you here. I'm not a fortune teller. Every football player is gauged on his last 60 minutes of football. Nobody looks back at what you did 25 fucking years ago. This is about what you've done over the last 3 weeks, the last 3 years, the last 3 games, whatever it is. Whatever your benchmark is. Okay? Whatever that is. And I like what somebody brought up earlier, would say this. How's Jalen in championship settings? Got blown out in the semifinals when he was at Oklahoma and got pulled in the national championship game. And then shit the bed just now yesterday. That's not an opinion. Okay? Again, telling the whole story here. By the way, do I think Jalen Hurts... Look at me trying to make sure everybody understands that I think he had a decent year this year or a good year this year. And I'm trying to like placate this, but you know, I like to tell the whole story. He had a fine season, but again, this is not about being common. This is about being exceptional. Okay? This is about getting your team to the next level. Big Chris says Quez was open deep. Couldn't get it to him. How do you think Howie Roseman in the front office and the owner now look at this moving forward? Do you think they'll look at Russell Wilson, who made some interesting comments, by the way, over the weekend? I'm going to expand on that. Kerry Cobb, from Fox 29. Guys, please hit the like button. We will ask Gary the damage that he thinks Jalen also did to his future here in Philadelphia. We'll talk a little bit more again about the game, some of the games that happened, and we'll make comparisons to the other quarterbacks that didn't play well over the weekend to Jalen Hurts. Please, again, hit that like button. Guys, I know we'll get through this, and what we're going to do is come to situations where, guess what? We're not going to sit here and just bitch for 2 hours. We're going to try to get resolutions, what to do next, where to go, who do we believe in, what has to change. I'm not one of these guys that sit around just crying all day long. I want to get the resolutions, how we get better. Sitting around bitching and crying, that's not how you get your football team better. Those are people that stick in the fucking mud and get nowhere. We're going to come up with answers. Hit the like button. Keep it here on National.